Welcome. This is a mini webinar on extreme heat vulnerability messaging. This webinar is brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Health and Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Together, our teams worked on a heat data analysis this year, and in this video, we'll share what we learned. Quickly, we want to describe why we wanted to work together on this project. We know that extreme heat causes more death than any other weather event. Given how common it is, it's a public health issue that we don't talk about very much. Between our programs in Minnesota and Wisconsin, we were noticing more and more emergency room visits among younger people. Given that our messaging often focuses on the very young and the very old being most at risk, we found this quite interesting. Our states are next door neighbors, we have similar climates, our populations look roughly the same, and we see similar patterns of heat-related illness. We knew our project would have the biggest impact if we combined our data and worked together to analyze heat-related illness and related factors. And so we did. At the end of this video, we will have a link where you can read more about the analysis and the factors we considered. Here's what we learned. We found younger people ages 15 to 34 are most likely to visit the emergency department for heat-related illness. This matched what we were seeing anecdotally. And to be clear, we aren't saying don't worry about older adults or infants anymore. We're saying this is an additional group that may not realize their risk since we haven't mentioned them in messaging before. With our public health outreach, we realized we could be doing more to talk about this age group and how they can protect themselves. We also found men are about twice as likely to visit the emergency department for heat-related illness as women. We hypothesize this is due to occupation, specifically outdoor jobs in traditionally male-dominated fields, such as construction, forestry, and roadwork. Unfortunately, we are unable to use our workers' compensation data in the analysis due to differences in reporting in each state, but this is an area where more research is needed. This is more of a no-brainer, but we found counties with a higher heat index generally had more cases of heat-related illness. This makes sense. The hotter it is, the more cases of heat-related illness we'd expect. And finally, we found that in counties as a whole, heat-related illness rates were significantly higher in rural areas than compared to metropolitan areas. While age-adjusted rates were lower for urban counties in both states, we did not analyze sub-county data, for example, data at the zip code level. Keep in mind, pockets within a county could have higher rates of heat-related illness. Milwaukee is a great example. Milwaukee County in Wisconsin is almost 1,200 square miles. It's very possible that while the Milwaukee County rate is low, the rate is much higher in certain areas of the downtown city of Milwaukee. Here's a map we made illustrating those rates for every county in our two states, and I'll give you a second to find your county. Given all this messaging, we have some resources for you in one convenient spot. On the webpage on your screen, you'll find social media posts with suggested images, a summary of the study, videos, and fact sheets to help you talk about heat-related illness. Here's a closer look at the types of things included on that webpage. Plug-and-play social media posts for each state, fact sheets, videos, and more. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to reach out if you have other questions. Our email addresses are on the screen, as is the website where you can find more information.